Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and it's Tuesday. Let's look at some online video news from last week and talk about what it means for those of us who are video creators, starting with a story that I think is on almost every other tech blog out this week, covering ComScore's latest stats about the online video industry and everyone saying, why are we losing so many views on YouTube? We're down 3 billion views from last month, and if you look at where we were this time last year, we are down by 32%. You start seeing headlines like, is this the end of YouTube and stuff like that. Well, Greg Jarboe at realseo.com actually talked with the guy at ComScore about exactly what's going on with these stats, and a couple things are interesting to note about why YouTube stats are lower than previous years. And number one, you have to take into account the growth of mobile views. 25% of all views on YouTube now take place on a mobile device of some kind, which thereby might lead to fewer views on the desktop version of the site. Also, YouTube viewing tends to follow a similar pattern as television viewing, which goes up and down seasonally. But the biggest reason that no one seems to be talking about, except for realseo.com, because Greg Jarboe actually went to ComScore and asked them, and they said, we actually changed our algorithm a bit for how we measure statistics and views in the online video world. Check out the link in the description text below this video here on YouTube if you want to read more about that algorithm change and how it affected the rankings for February. But honestly, there's really nothing to worry about right now. Also in the online video news, for those of you who create content that you would like to put behind a paywall and actually charge people to access, well, Vimeo has announced that now you can do that with their service. You name your price, you name how long you want someone to have access to your video after they pay for it, and you get 90% of the revenue after transaction costs. Now, as everyone has reported on this story, it is a big deal that you get 90% of the cut. Most places just give you 70%, but they say after transaction costs, which means that they're gonna do a lot of credit card processing and fees that go along with that, and then whatever's left over at that point, then you get 90%. So what does that number actually total? Well, let's say you sell access to your video for $4.99. Approximately 33 cents of that will be deducted right off the top for transaction fees, which is about 6.6%, leaving you with $4.66 left to split. You take 90% of that, which in this case is about $4.19, meaning that overall you actually took home about 84% of the gross sale for that video. Still, not a bad deal, but I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below if this is something that you feel like you would use with your audience. 3 other stories for you guys really quick. Number one, the new YouTube Capture app is now available for iPad and iPad mini, meaning you could hold up your really big device and shoot video if you want, and the app will stabilize it. You can add some like color effects and things, kind of like Instagram, and then just upload it straight to YouTube. Now, I recommend getting this app even if you don't use it for shooting, because it uploads way better than just like, if you're on iOS anyway, it uploads a lot better than just the YouTube like built-in functionality of the operating system. Number two, YouTube is reportedly working on adaptive streaming for mobile and television. What does that mean? Well, you know, on the desktop, if you're watching a video, you happen to make it like full screen and you're halfway through the video, and the quality will automatically adjust from maybe 720p to 1080p just because you made it bigger without skipping, without rebuffering or anything. That's called adaptive bitrate, where it automatically detects your connection speed, the screen size, resolution that you're watching that video, and adjust the quality of the video to match accordingly. So if someone's got a poor mobile connection, it'll automatically adjust so that it can stream without any buffering or hiccups and adjust the quality accordingly, and the same thing on the TV. And finally, TubeMogul came out with a report last week that says that brand favorability goes up during prime time television viewing hours on YouTube. So between like that coveted 8 p.m. and midnight time slot, most people are more likely to retain advertisements and the messages that they heard and saw. So a lot of people are saying for video creators, it's best to upload your content between 8 p.m. and midnight at night. I personally don't think that's a correlation that I'm going to make. I just think that's when people respond better to advertisements. And it's hard to say that more of your subscribers are watching online video in the evening than they are during the day, because it really depends on your audience. So I wouldn't take this report to indicate that in the evenings is a better time to publish your content. But what do you think? Comment below. I could be wrong. Tell me something I'm missing. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We'd love to have you subscribe. Every week we cover online video news, talk about what it means for those of us who are video creators. On Wednesdays, we will do some YouTube tips, advice, and on Thursdays, some Q&A with you guys. So that's all coming up. Looking forward to interacting with you then. Subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye.